Had I not done that, I would not have met him.
Do you make sure you don't smell when you go on a date? I'm a cradle robber.
You said, I'd really like to see you again. Can I see you tomorrow?
Why waste time? If you're too crunchy for crunchy granola, you're too crunchy.
Nerd alert, nerd alert. I can't believe we're admitting this. Hi guys.
Hi.
It's Amanda and Bill, and it is our 7-year wedding anniversary. We thought to celebrate we would make a video for you guys. I've seen this husband tag floating around the last few months, and I thought that would be a fun one to do. Technically, it's supposed to be your husband answering these questions about you, but I figured it would be a lot more fun if we just answered them together about each other. So that's what we're gonna do since it's our anniversary. Question number 1, where did we meet? So we met on eHarmony in spring of 2008. I saw his profile, and at the time I was 23 and he was 30.
I'm a cradle robber.
I was almost 24. I was like 1 month away from being 24, and he had just turned 30. So you're like 6.5 years older than me.
Yeah.
And so I actually would not have seen his profile had the week or two before I had not switched my criteria. I had it like age 23 to 29 or something like that, and I bumped it up to 30.
So I just barely squeaked in.
So had I not done that, I would not have met him. So it's a good thing I did that. I'm glad.
Yeah.
That was a life-changing decision right there to bump it up to age 30. Question number 2, where was our first date? But we had been communicating for what, a month on eHarmony first? Like we did all of their questions and their must-haves and can't stands, and we went through the whole shebang.
Like the long form questions.
Yeah, like
you write a bunch to each other. And
yeah, and then we started just messaging each other, and then we talked on the phone. I remember the first phone conversation we had, we talked for 4 hours. That tells you something. And then the next day, he said, I'd really like to meet you. And so we met at P.F. Chang's for our first date. We had dinner there, and it was lovely. And we wanted to keep talking. I mean, we had talked for 4 hours the night before on the phone, and here we are. We had our full, long, extended dinner at P.F. Chang's, and we still wanted to keep talking. So we went to the bookstore across the way.
Borders. Back when there was a Borders.
Back when there was a Borders. This was way back in 2008. But then they were closing because I think we had met for dinner at like 6 or something like that, and we were there for until...
Yeah, Borders closed at 9.
Yeah, and we had been at the restaurant for a few hours, and then so we went there, but then they were closing. So then we drove to Barnes & Noble, what, a mile down the street or whatever, because they were open till 11. And then finally, it got to be 11, and we're like, I guess we should call it a night.
Yeah, it was a good first date.
It was a very good first date. We just talked all night long. I had a feeling, but that's another question. That's a later question too. And then at the end, you said, I'd really like to see you again. Can I see you tomorrow?
Why waste time?
So that was very sweet. And then what was the second date? Was it down at the beach?
I think it was the beach. Yeah, and we did like... there's a beach where we had to go under some railroad tracks to get there, and brought like a thermos of hot cocoa.
It was so sweet. He had brought, what was it, cocoa or tea? I think it was tea.
Maybe it was hot tea.
I thought that was so sweet that he pulled this little thermos of tea out of his car when we got there, and 2 little cups. It was so sweet. We should probably mention our third date too, because it was kind of epic.
Yep.
Our third date, we went to see the Dalai Lama together. In Seattle, he was giving a speech at one of the, which stadium was Safeco Field.
Yep.
And so we went down, and on our third date, you got to meet my parents.
Yeah,
and our parents got to meet each other. They were all there. I mean, we were... That
was interesting. We were wasting
we
no
were
time.
only on our third date, and here our families, we got to meet each other's families, and our families got to meet each other on our third date at the Dalai Lama. And that was pretty cool. That was a cool experience. And then after that, we went to Discovery Park in Seattle, which is a very, very special place to us. It's this huge, I mean, it's in Seattle, but you would never know it. It's like this huge expanse of beach and forest. We had our first kiss there. Yeah, but that's another question too. Okay. So anyway, question number 3. Where was our first kiss and how was it? Well, that's just a perfect segue.
Well, that was on
It was at Discovery Park on the beach.
On the beach.
And there was a beautiful sunset. Oh,
Yes, it was very romantic.
It was very romantic, and we're sitting on a piece of driftwood, and he says, "Can I kiss you?" And I said, "Of course." And it was so romantic with the sunset and the beach, and Mount Rainier. It was wonderful. Yep. That's a really good memory.
Yep. My experience on eHarmony was you would know whether it was going anywhere by the third date, and we knew.
We knew. And then our hike back, we were all smoochy on the way back.
Yeah, we found a little bench
we have our
on a bluff over the beach.
We have our little, bench that overlooked the ocean, and it was getting
and
dark.
The moon rising.
Yeah, the moon was rising. There were stars and the sparkles on the water and all these boats going by, and so romantic.
Yep.
Yeah, that was our first kiss. Number 4. How did you know I was the one? Would you like me to answer first or you? I'll answer first because it was pretty quick for me.
Okay.
I knew, like, even when I was communicating with you on eHarmony, like, I had this gut feeling, like it was a God kind of feeling, like this is the one. Meets so much of my criteria, and we're attracted to each other, and there are just so many things that were just, the stars were aligning.
I think I knew by the third date.
Yeah.
You were a good kisser, so. No, I really knew she was the one when I found out that she also likes Weird Al.
Nerd alert, nerd alert. we had a little bonding moment of singing Amish Paradise together. I can't believe we're admitting this.
But yeah, she laughs at my jokes, and we have a lot in common.
Yeah, I think that's another question though. Like, that's question number 5. So you knew by the third date.
Yes.
You know, you had been through a lot of other matches who just weren't the right fit for you.
Yeah.
And
that gave me a pretty good perspective on what my criteria were, and she was far and away better than any of the other ones I dated, so.
Aw. There's a giant jet flying over.
It's like a 777.
Really close. Segue into question number 5. What was your first impression of me? Do you want me to answer first or you?
Well, online, it was, wow, she's cute and she has beautiful eyes.
Aww.
And I was impressed by the quality of her answers when we were communicating too. So.
I felt the same way. I had a very similar first impression of you. I thought, man, he's cute. He was smart, and he put pictures of him playing with his niece and nephew.
Yeah.
Ka-ching! Yeah,
I learned the strategic value of getting pictures with cute children in it.
And it worked. It was very effective. See, that's one of the beautiful things about eHarmony too, is like before you even like communicate with the person, like one of the deal breaker things they have, the very top of the profile, do you want kids? And so we both wanted kids.
This isn't Tinder, it's not a hookup site, it's a
this is like
dating for marriage site.
Find your spouse site.
It's a conspiracy.
And he had a very stable job. He's an engineer, which is a very respectable career. And
her dad's an engineer.
My dad's an engineer. I guess it's true that you do end up with people like your parents.
If you like your parents.
If you like your parents, yeah. And he already owned a house, and it was a log house at that, in the woods. And that was really, really cool.
Yeah, she didn't think it was quite as cool after she'd been living there for a while. That's another story.
That's a story. In fact, I think we talked about that story in our anniversary video last year. I think we talked about the details of that cabin if you want to see that video. That was also a big ka-ching. It's nice that he was a few years older because he was a few steps ahead, you know, a little more established, had a career, had a house already, you know. And that's great, because that's what I wanted. Like, I was ready to get on with life, you know, get married, have a family, and he was well on his way. And then, like you said, your answers. There were so many people that I had communicated with on eHarmony that, like, they couldn't write. There was no grammar, no capitalization, no punctuation, like, poor spell, like, come on. If you're trying to impress somebody, like, at least make an effort.
I mean, it's like, do you make sure you don't smell when you go on a date? You put on your deodorant or your cologne, you make sure you're clean shaven. Well, you know, if you're meeting online, use good grammar and punctuation.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
It shows that you're putting effort into it.
Exactly. I mean, there were some other people who had decent grammar, but not only did you have good grammar, but you wrote well. He was a good writer. And
that's like taking her to a good restaurant. Don't just go for fast food on your first date.
Anyway, not only could he write well, but there was also substance to what he was saying. And not only was there substance to what he was saying, it was just like our worldviews were just so perfectly aligned. Like, without going into detail, because I don't want to do that on my YouTube channel. How do I put this?
Well, let's see. We were in a very similar place in terms of religion and politics, which are both important. We had similar views on...
Which I feel like the combination of those things for us too is kind of a rare combination of where we fall on those things too. Like, that's why we had such a hard time finding people on eHarmony, because we're kind of odd ducks in that way.
I mean, they had good religious compatibility guidelines for matching, but not good political compatibility guidelines.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people I was matched with were not very compatible from that perspective.
Yeah. You know, not that that has to be a deal breaker, but it makes it a lot easier when you're just on the same page in terms of what you believe.
Well, and
how you view the world.
Going along with that is how you plan to raise your kids.
And that's another big thing.
Similar worldviews, it's a lot easier to have similar ideas for what you plan to do as parents.
Yeah, I remember actually talking about that, like our general philosophies of child raising and all of that, and we were just really on the same page. You know, the ethics that we want to raise our kids with, and you know, the kind of environment we wanted to raise them in, and what kind of discipline we're into, and that kind of thing. So like, we knew this stuff out of the gate.
Yep.
And I was impressed that we were just like so compatible, so on the same page on like all these really important things. So So that was my first impression of you. Number 6, this one can be a really quick answer. When did you meet the family? We already answered that one. Third date.
Dalai Lama
when we saw
rally.
the Dalai Lama.
She met the rest of my family when we went to Hawaii.
Well, yeah. I met his dad and stepmom because they lived in Hawaii at the time. And we had been dating, because that was like December of 2008.
Yeah, we've been dating for most of a year at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was still under a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to Hawaii.
9 months.
Yeah, that was a wonderful trip.
Yeah.
And I got to meet his dad and stepmom, and we got to tour around the big island of Hawaii. That was a really good trip. Number 7, do we have a tradition together? Kissing shadows.
Yeah.
Whenever we find that we're, you know, somewhere in the evening when the sun is out and the shadows are long, we always take a smooching shadows picture. We have a lot of them now. Do we have any other traditions?
Eating fresh garden produce.
Yeah. Well, you guys know all about that. Yeah. If you haven't seen our garden videos, then do check them out. I always want to say he's a master gardener, but that actually means something else.
Yeah,
he hasn't gone through the master gardener program, but he's a master gardener.
I'm an amateur.
He's really good at it.
Got some experience.
That's another thing that I really liked about him. Number 8. When was our first road trip? Was that when we took that camping trip to the Olympic Peninsula?
Was that the one with the small tent and the Dutch ovens?
Because you ate chili that night?
Yeah.
We're not going to put that in there. Hold on, now the UPS guy is here.
Oh, for crying out loud.
So yeah, then we went out to the Macaw Reservation, and that's like the most northwestern point of the lower 48 of the United States. And it's like where the very tip of Washington curves around. There's a little cape.
At the very tip of that cape, there's a little overlook on a cliff above the water. And when Amanda got out there, she said,
"It's a whale!"
Yeah, we have a great video of it. There's a gray whale swimming directly below.
Maybe I should find that and see if I can insert that here.
It's a whale!
Big one, dude.
I'm getting it on video. That is so cool.
He was making fun of me because I was so excited to be seeing a gray whale. Because it was swimming up the coast and you could see it blowing. We were up on a big cliff. I thought it was really cool.
It was. I just still think it's funny that you...
It's a whale! It's a whale! we went to this little hut where this macaw fellow smokes salmon, like their traditional, you know, native way. And it is like the best salmon we have ever
It was very good smoked
tasted.
salmon.
It was so good. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they caught the salmon
I would imagine.
right there. And he smoked it right there in the little hut. And oh my gosh, it was so good. And we went out to the beach to eat it. And it was so romantic. Like, it was a gorgeous sunset, as I recall. I mean, it was just like the sky was on fire. It was really magical. And we're eating this amazing salmon, and it's wonderful. But then we ended up missing the ferry back because we had waited for the sun to set, and we didn't quite make it back to the ferry in time before the last one.
So we had to drive
So we
around.
had to drive all the way around south through Tacoma and back.
It was only an extra hour.
But it was worth it for that experience we had, seeing that sunset. It was really wonderful. So that was our first road trip.
Yep.
Some of these are kind of redundant questions. Number 9, what was the first thing you noticed about me?
Yeah, we already answered that.
We already answered that, our first impressions. Number 10, what do we argue about most?
Time management.
Time.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing we both argue about.
And we're both bad at
and
it.
We're both terrible at time management. Number 11, who said I love you first and where was it? I honestly don't remember that. I remember our first kiss more than, was it that same night that we said I love you?
No, it wasn't quite that soon. I think it was down in your parents' basement.
Was it?
That's my vague recollection.
I
don't
honestly
remember
don't
who said it
remember that.
first, but I do remember us saying it at that point.
I'm glad you remember that. We felt that way from the beginning.
We had an intuition.
Yeah.
But,
What's my job?
well, she made a
like-
barefoot pregnant in the kitchen post the other day.
Because it's August and I was hungry and I am 31 weeks pregnant. That's my current job. No, but for serious.
If they mean occupation,
Yeah.
I guess
Well, yeah. You're an engineer.
you're a massage therapist.
Yeah. I've been on a hiatus to raise kids, but that is my profession. I do YouTube.
That's a hobby.
It's a jobby. And we're both raising kids. That's probably the most important thing that we're both doing right now. Most important job in the world, I tell you. Number 13, who wears the pants in this relationship? I don't like that question.
Yeah.
I don't like gender questions like that.
Also, it's kind of ridiculous since women wear pants just about as much as men do these days.
Yeah, that's kind of an outdated term.
With the rising popularity of kilts, men wear skirts just about as much as women do in some cases.
Utility kilts.
Yeah.
You don't call it a man skirt, it's a utility kilt.
I call it a man skirt, but the people who wear them call them utility kilts. But
All
so
right.
what? You know, if a guy wants to wear a skirt, he can.
We're digressing here, Bill. If they're asking who does the traditional gendered jobs, like in some ways we are very traditional, and that you are the breadwinner, so to speak, and I'm the one who stays home with the kids.
Yeah, and I do most of the outside stuff, although when she's not pregnant, she likes to mow the lawn.
I mow the lawn when I'm not pregnant, and
Both of us hate doing the dishes.
we both hate
so
the dishes.
We kind of take turns on that.
Yeah, or we'll do it together sometimes. We both cook. We both contribute quite a bit with the kids.
Well, okay, I think the thing to say is we don't believe in complementarianism, where the man is supposed to be the head of the household, or one person's supposed to wear the pants. We also don't think the woman should be the head of the household. We think a marriage is, an arch supported by two pillars.
It's an equal partnership.
Yeah.
And that's important to us. And in some ways we do things more traditionally, and in other ways we don't.
But that's just because that's our personal preference, not because we think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and it works really well for our family to do things the way we do them. Number 14. If I am watching TV, what am I watching?
A lot of times it's other mommy vloggers.
That's probably the best answer.
Now, if you want to talk actual TV shows, Call the Midwife.
Call the Midwife.
Would probably be your number one. She was a big Downton Abbey fan.
Downton Abbey. I love my British shows.
Let's see, we watched Sherlock together.
Yeah,
I like that one
another
too.
British one. Yeah, we both like Sherlock. For a long time we watched The Office.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, back when we were dating, we went through the whole Office
watched
series.
a good portion of Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, we like that kind of humor.
Yeah, so when we watch shows, we do not watch network TV. We just watch
we don't have
YouTube
cable,
or
Netflix
or Amazon.
Yeah.
The only reason we even got a TV antenna was to watch the Olympics.
So yeah, if we're watching a show, it's usually together. But really, we just don't watch that much TV anymore. I like learning things on YouTube also. You watch things to learn on YouTube also.
Yeah, but I mean, my kind of stuff is more along the lines of, is it a good idea to microwave this? Or
will it blend?
Will it blend?
That's when we were a little different. We have a little bit more different tastes in the kinds of things we're interested in. He's a little more into like science fiction and stuff, which I'm not as into, and I'm more into, you know, like the traditional woman, like, I don't actually like romantic comedies and stuff, but I mean there are a few I like, but like dramas. I like dramas, things that really portray the human experience. That's the kind of thing I like.
Well, and I think we agreed that, like, if you watch Star Trek with me, I'd watch
Anne of Green Gables. Yeah, that gives you an idea. Yeah, I've just gone and watched Anne of Green Gables with my friends.
Yeah. She did go and see Star Wars with me, though.
I did.
Yeah, and Rogue One, so.
Yeah, so I did do that. 15, what is one food I don't like?
I'm trying to remember if there's any.
There's not many.
Really
I like most foods, but there's one in particular.
I'm trying to remember what that is.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Black licorice.
That's right.
Black licorice is the one food
she doesn't like rye bread either.
Which even
like the
lately,
dark rye bread.
That like pumpernickel.
Yeah.
But even lately, I tried it again recently, and I wasn't having that gag reflex with it like I've had in the past. So that one's actually improving a little. But yeah, the one thing that remains is black licorice. Like, it literally makes me gag. Anything else though, like, I'm an adventurous eater. I like just about everything.
Some things I don't like on principle. Like snails.
He won't eat escargot.
They're slugs with shells, and I've dealt with slugs in my garden, and they're disgusting little creatures.
I did eat escargot one time at a French restaurant. They just tasted like clams.
Yeah.
They were in so much butter you could hardly even tell. You don't like mushrooms, right?
Well, I'll eat mushrooms.
You'll eat them if they're in something, but you don't like it if it's like the main part of a course.
Yeah, I've had them, and the other kinds of mushrooms besides the little button mushrooms you get at the store are actually better.
Yeah, they have more flavor.
Chicken of the woods.
Yeah, the like fancy mushrooms.
We had king boletes once, and those are pretty good.
Is there any other food though that you can't stand?
In the kingdom of fungi, I don't like mold. The French,
that's right.
Of course,
so he won't eat blue cheese.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Why would I want to eat moldy cheese?
Because it tastes good.
What's the difference between that and just letting your cheese sit in the refrigerator for too long?
Number 16. If we are out to eat, what kind of dressing do I get on my salad? I know what you get. You get raspberry vinaigrette.
Yeah, you probably get like a balsamic vinaigrette most of the time.
Yeah. Number 17. What drink do I order when we go out to eat?
Usually water.
Just water. Well, it's usually because I'm trying to be good, and most drinks that you order have a lot of sugar in them. I've been making some exceptions when I'm this pregnant. Like, I'll get strawberry lemonade or something like that. Occasionally I'll get like iced tea, but mostly I just get water. And it's cheaper too. I'm just
drinks
that
are a
cheap.
ripoff in restaurants.
Yeah, we're just that frugal.
When you got
that was the other thing. I was just gonna say, just going back a few questions, that was another way that we were extremely compatible, was our
finances.
Extreme frugality.
Yeah, cheap and cheaper.
Cheap and cheaper. We call each other cheap and cheaper. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. You usually just get water, or I guess you like to get Arnold Palmer's.
If I order a non-alcoholic drink, that is common.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we'll both, when I'm not pregnant, we'll get wine or beer. Number 18, what shoe size do I wear?
It's been going up.
It has been.
I think it used to be an 8, and then it got to 8.5, and now it's at a 9.
You got it. Each pregnancy, it went from like an 8 to an 8.5. My feet got longer, and then with my second pregnancy, they got wider, and I think they got even a little bit longer this pregnancy. I'm in a size 9 now. He has really wide feet, so he has to get wide shoes. But if they're like specified wide, you can wear a 10, right?
Well, I wear a 10 in normal shoes if they have a soft upper.
Yeah.
But
and if not, you have to get an 11.
I just try to avoid shoes that don't have soft uppers.
Yeah. And we've gotten good at finding brands that are...
Well, yeah, Keen
Yeah, Keens are really good for wide feet.
are wide.
Number 19, if I were to collect anything, what would it be? I don't even know if I know. I have a collection of all the state coins, the state quarters from back when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I used to collect, actually, that used to be my thing. I used to collect coins and like foreign money and stuff when I went places.
She collects photography equipment.
Yeah, you collect garden equipment.
Yes.
I don't know, is there anything else you collect?
Miscellaneous stuff
You're
we
a
both
pack
have.
rat. You're like,
Yeah.
but we might need it someday. And I've been inspired by all these minimalist videos. Like, no, we just need to get rid of the crap that we're not using.
You want to get rid of stuff a little more than I do, but you also want to get stuff a little more than I do.
That's true, so I guess we balance each other out in that way. Number 20, what is my favorite type of sandwich? I don't know if I know my favorite type of sandwich. I like all sandwiches. What about you?
Do you know my favorite type?
BLT?
Good guess.
BLTAs with avocado.
Well, or you can get it LGBT sandwich. Lettuce, bacon, tomato, and guac.
Okay, moving on. These are just getting into really petty questions. Number 21, what would I eat every day if I could? Toast has always been my staple. You can put lots of yummy things on top of toast. And I think you've inherited that from me.
Yeah, I've kind of developed. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, toast is just a platform for jam. But
Yes. Number 22, what is my favorite cereal? Grape nuts.
is that your favorite cereal?
No, I'm saying that for you.
Oh,
'Cause
mine?
you like putting berries on
Again,
it.
that's just a platform for berries.
Yeah, during berry season, you like having grape nuts with the berries from the garden.
Just for the crunch, the flavors in it. But
But when you
the
have
crunch
berries,
is good.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granola.
Granola.
The rest of the time. What's your favorite cereal?
I'd say granola too.
Yeah. As
We're
we like
granola
to say,
crunchers.
if you're too crunchy for crunchy granola, you're too crunchy.
All right, number 23, what is my favorite music? Weird Al.
That's my favorite artist, but I don't
No.
know if that's my favorite genre.
I would say classic rock. You like
Yeah.
classic rock
There's
too.
a lot of classic artists we like.
We both like, yeah. There's also music that I like that you're not as much into.
You have
Just
your
more
sort of
that-
ambient.
Well, that's just my concentrating music. I'll put
Yeah.
on one of those on Spotify. I'll just put on those like focus, you know, ambient music.
Put
'cause
you
it
to
helps
sleep
me.
music.
Well, it puts him to sleep. It helps me focus. I mean, I like almost all kinds of music. Not sorry to if I offend anyone, but I don't like country.
Anything but country.
Anything but country.
Well,
and
Also no gangster rap.
yeah, I'm not. There is
Also no death metal.
no death metal where it's just screaming. And I like a variety of music. You like jazz too. Yeah.
Yep. Alex has
And
inherited
Alex,
my love of
yeah,
jazz.
Alex likes your jazz too. My favorite sports teams. I think we can both agree that we are both the least sporty people we know.
Sports ball.
There's sportsing out there.
Yeah, we know there's sportsing going on when we hear fireworks because it's a
Because
Seahawk
the
game.
Seahawks won.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really feel like we're kind of the odd ducks out around here because like everybody in Washington loves the Seahawks.
At least in our neighborhood.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty universal in this area, especially since they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's become a much bigger
Everybody
thing
was
in-
so happy when they won the Super Bowl, and I was like, yeah, that's nice. But then everybody was so sad when they came 1 yard away from winning the Super Bowl and came up short, and I was like, oh, that's too bad.
We're just not that into sports. That's just not our thing, you know? I think it's great when people are into it. I think that's cool, but it's just not our thing. If I'm watching sports, my favorite kind of sports to watch are the Olympics. Like,
Yeah.
I like actually seeing people
Individual competition
yeah,
more than team
like
sports.
people where it takes like huge talent and physical. I mean, you have
Professional
to,
sports
professional
do
sports
take a lot
do
of
also.
talent, but
like, you know, watching like gymnastics, for example, like just seeing like the things that the human body is capable of doing.
Yeah.
That's just amazing to me, and I really like watching that kind of thing. Number 25, what are the color of my eyes? We're both blue-eyed.
I
We
like
both
blue
have blue
eyes.
eyes. Yeah. 26, who is my best friend? You're my best friend.
Yeah, if you're not best friends with the person you're married to, you might want to reevaluate your relationship.
Seriously though, you are my best friend, my life companion. I have a lot of close girlfriends though. So, 27, what is something I wish you wouldn't do?
You'll probably cut this one out.
We're not going to put that in there.
Start projects, and then when they're part of the way done, rope me in.
That's something you wish I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without having consulted me before starting it.
Yeah, that is something I do. And with you starting projects really late at night, like falling asleep after the kids go to bed and then getting up at 1 a.m. and starting something.
I'm just doing the 2 sleep method. It was a traditional way of getting things done. You go to sleep at dusk, wake up in the middle of the night, do something in the middle of the night, and go to sleep again and wake up at dawn.
Drives me crazy. Number 28, where am I from? Let's not get too specific here, because it's YouTube.
Washington.
Yes. I born and raised here. And you were born in California.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. Californian who moved to the Seattle area.
Yeah, there's a lot of these people.
Now,
California transplants.
in my defense, I moved here when I was in 7th grade.
That's when your mom moved here.
So.
Since his dad was a national park ranger, he moved around a little bit. So California, Nevada was the longest one.
Yep, and then back to California and then up to Washington.
Yeah. Number 29. If you were to bake me a cake for my birthday, what kind of cake would it be?
Carrot cake, maybe?
Yeah, I like carrot cake. Same with you?
I'd go with applesauce cake.
Just, oh, the kind that your mom makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like your comfort.
It's healthy.
It's your comfort cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she makes a really good applesauce cake, and it is healthier. All whole wheat and everything. 30. Do I play any sports? What did I do in high school?
Oh yeah, that's right. You were on the swim team in high school.
I was a swimmer.
See, she likes the individual competitions.
Yeah.
Even
well,
if there's a team score. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you. He's a runner.
Yeah, I did cross country in high school and college.
So yeah,
and
runner,
track
swimmer, into the
a little bit.
Individual sports.
Yeah.
Number 31. What could I spend hours doing?
YouTube.
YouTube. Both filming, editing, and watching.
Yeah. I could spend hours doing garden and yard stuff.
And reading things on Facebook.
Yeah. And typing out long, drawn-out posts about things.
Yeah. Getting into heated discussions about things.
Yes.
Which we've both been known to do.
Yeah.
He just does it a lot more.
Because there's just some people on the internet who are wrong.
We're not going to get into that. Number 32. What is one unique talent I have?
You can do that weird thing with your tongue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see? That's pretty weird. You can
places
tie cherry
in life.
stems with your tongue.
I can tie a cherry stem in a knot with my tongue, too. You can stick your fist in your mouth.
I'm not going to do that on camera.
Thank you.
But yeah,
It's not pretty. Number 33. Why did you fall in love with me?
We talked about that on the first date portion.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of already answered that. Anyway.
That it?
That's it. If you guys are interested in doing this tag and you have a YouTube channel, I just love watching videos like this and getting to know people. So let me know in the comments if you've done it or if you're gonna do it, and I will go check it out and give this video a thumbs up. If you liked our silly answers, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit that little notification bell if you want to get a notification every time I put up a new video. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye!